Welcome to the Music Train. This is episode 6 of season 5. I'm your host, S5E6, and we have the amazing Michael Jost from Radio Venice here today with us. Before we get to Michael, I'd love to give a big shout out to BK Han and Metaverse Generation. You know, without them, we would not be here. Thank you to all of our viewers. Please let us know where you're tuning in from, and definitely shout us out in the comments. And don't forget, the Music Train is for you. So if you'd like to be on the show, definitely get in touch with me at S5E6 on X and everywhere else. Shout out to LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, StreamYard, and X, Instagram maybe too this time. And without further ado, let's bring up the great guitarist, composer, and producer, Mr. Michael Jost is here.
Hi, Vessi. Hello,
hi, Michael. Hi, good. Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. How about you? It's good to see you.
Yes, it's been a while. You know, we've known each other for a long time, you and I.
That is true. That is true. Time flies, you know. I could not put a number on it. Where and when, you know, it kind of gets a little fuzzy there. But, you know, a long time it is.
It must be all those notes. I mean, so when did you start playing guitar?
Well, I think I was like about 10 years old
10?
when I started. I thought it was always cool that, you know, other kids could play instruments and stuff. And I thought just like to have the ability to do that.
Yeah. So you were.
I wanted it myself. You know.
You were inspired early on by other musicians in the neighborhood and such.
In school, you know, they were playing the recorder, the piano, and stuff, and like, I thought it was cool if you could do that, you know, and have that. And so eventually, I aspired to do it as myself.
I mean, you're one of the best guitarists I know.
Oh, thank you so much.
Recently, I had the pleasure to see that Rick Boston, you have Rick Boston with you for a duo. What is the name of the duo that you have with?
It's called El Duelo. You know, we're kind of like bitching at each other all the time, and kind of it is a duel, him and me, just like sparring off. But it works pretty good. It's like it has a spark of energy, so and it's fun playing. I love playing by myself, but and I do this a lot. Also travel and play in all kinds of places. And I love, of course, playing in bands, but sometimes it is, if you do it with someone else together, like after the show, it's kind of like nice to be able to share this, right? Yes. So I have a couple of guitar duos. I just recently got into doing it as a duo. If you get the right player to go back and forth with, then it's a beautiful thing.
I would love to run Goulash, if I may, just so that
sure.
Our viewers, all right, check it out, guys. This is amazing. I love that. Oh,
Thank you. You know, goulash, we named it goulash because that riff, ba, 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 I came up with by fucking around with a Hungarian scale.
okay.
And then we didn't have a name for it. And in Hungarian, of course, goulash, right?
Totally.
So that made sense. Yeah.
So I now I have to know about the scale. Does that scale have a name?
Hungarian scale.
Of course, that's what it's called. So hold on a
It's
minute. How many scales are there? Just because maybe there's people who are brand new to music and they don't
there's a
really even know.
million. There's a
I-
million. You know, the basic ones, major, minor, and then all kinds of pentatonic scales. And then um, I think it's getting interesting to get a little bit more into the exotic scales. Like if it's you know, a lot of the exotic scales, you know, they're used in India or in
Yeah.
Hungary or something. You know, they kind of get a
And-
name. Like a lot of the folk tunes are kind of like inspired in this. And if you want to write maybe something that has a certain character, it's usually like that one note in the scale is a little bit off
Yeah.
the usual path, and that
Right.
gives it a certain character.
And we call it exotic, but for for Indian guitar players and musicians, it's not exotic. It just is what they've always known.
It's just for our Western ears. It's
Yeah.
exotic. Yeah.
It's
So
amazing. Michael, so oh please go ahead.
no, no, no. That's all right.
I was just asking, so your childhood dream, you would say, was to become a musician?
Well, check it out. You know, I mean, I meet so many musicians here and so many very inspired kids, and you know, also here in LA, you meet a lot of kids of rock stars. They're like 12 years old, 13 years old. They're amazing. They're playing huge things. There's one. You know, I grew up. You know, my family wasn't really musical, right?
Mm.
There was no father or brother or something
Mhm.
that had all the record collection. So for me, it was a dream, but it was not really like put in my nest, right?
Mm.
Let's say like this. So it took a little bit longer. You know, it took a bit longer for me to really go for it. You
Yeah.
know, I always loved it, and I didn't know what pushed me through it. I found out that my grandfather that I never met, he died with 42,
Oh.
long before I was born. So he was a musical person in the family. I never met him, right? But so it was not like really like either pushed on me or even so like, but you know, when I wanted to have like guitar lessons or something, my mom wonderfully supported me and everything. So I got guitar lessons. But it's just kind of like when you grow up in Germany in a little bit town, not in the big cities, and you want to be
Yeah.
a musician, they're like, yeah, that's fun. It's kind of nice. But when you get a real job,
Yeah.
all this is really where I'm coming from. So eventually I was pushing it as hard as I could, and the less I was supposed to do it, the more I wanted it, right?
Mm.
It was also like a little bit rebellion. I didn't feel like working for the insurance or the bank, or you know, just like I was always drawn to it for some weird
Mhm.
reason. So it took for me a little bit longer. I also before I came to the United States, I was 27. So it was rather late, actually, right, in the game to do this. So
Mhm. Mhm.
everything that I do, it takes a little longer, but I wanted even more for it.
Yeah.
So the desire for it, because it was a little bit harder for me to make this happen.
Mhm.
So yeah, I I always wanted it. I didn't really know, but the older I became, the more I wanted it.
I remember a clothing designer. I think that's we met. Sari was her name.
Sunny
Sunny,
Deason.
that's right. That's
I
where I
talked to her
first.
last week.
Oh, you did? Because I remember seeing you for the first time with your band, I believe at her house, I believe it was, on a stage in their yard or something. Something
With
in
Skunk,
Venice.
with Toby Carly, right?
Yes,
Probably.
that's it. Yes. And I don't know, right away I was floored because obviously everyone who just witnessed the video and your ability. I love classical guitar, of course. I love classical guitar. So
Yeah, I
I
like that
take
too.
it that's how you started. But you're a
I
rock
did.
guitarist. You're a rock guitarist. Would you consider yourself?
Well, you know, I'm a guitarist.
Yeah.
I did start out with classical guitar. You know, I had like this Russian professor, you know, back in the days. He was
Cool.
chain smoking during guitar lessons. You know, I had
I
yellow
love it.
fingers and yellow hair and all that kind of stuff that would be impossible in these days, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Professor Leskov. I learned classical
Wow.
guitar. That's how I started out. And then when I was 15 or something, then rock and roll kicked in. You know,
Yeah.
then the rebel kind of thing. And so, and I did this whole thing, electric. You know, my house is still and will always be full of Marshall stacks, and I love this.
Nice.
I love funk. I like psychedelic, all that kind of stuff. I'm all into it. But eventually, I also returned first to the acoustic guitar, and then I was so inspired by Friday Night in San Francisco, Paco de Lucia, Aldi Meola,
Oh,
John McLaughlin. That brought me back to shred on the steel string acoustic, and eventually I returned to the Spanish guitar. That's where I came from. I do think this is the mother of all guitars.
I
The
agree.
I still love all this. I make everything, but now I'm completely obsessed again with the Spanish guitar.
Oh my
And
goodness. There's
like,
nothing it can't move. Someone knows
well,
how to play. I mean, you can't not
what
feel it.
what I like about it is also, you can reach a much wider audience with a Spanish guitar than if you play rock and roll, or funk or punk rock. There's a certain audience. The
Totally.
Spanish guitar, young and old, all colors, all races, everything. And I do
Yes.
believe that what music should be there for anyway, to communicate between all
Yeah,
these.
absolutely.
And the Spanish guitar works well for it. And it's also, I feel like, the hardest of everything. So the challenge is the biggest, to push it as hard as you can.
Maybe
But I have to say, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say maybe
I
one
have
day.
to say, I am inspired by there's so many great players, particularly here in LA or in Venice, or the people who show me. So every time, like, what the fuck, But this is what I also like come to Radio Venice, right? So, but this is what just inspires you, So after I meet another from these great people or get to jam with them, and they're saying, then you sit down and just keep working on yourself, and you always will be learning. It never stops.
The student is always able to become the teacher, but to be able to continue to be the student, that's the place of learning, the blooming field.
And to grow,
Yeah.
as a person and as a musician.
Totally. So Radio Venice. So tell me more about that, how that was born. And for those of you that don't know, our dear friend here today is right on the boardwalk, the Venice Beach Boardwalk, which is like prime location for anybody wanting to go to Venice. You want to be right on the boardwalk. And so if you've not been to the boardwalk, what could you tell the people about why they should visit Venice? What is it about Venice?
Well, I came here and, I heard about Venice, and, I always, for some reason, growing up in Germany, all like a little bit straight, I did like a little bit the psychedelics subculture of the 60s,
Yeah.
Love Jimi Hendrix, love Pink Floyd, love all that kind of stuff, right? So, and then I went to San Francisco, Haight-Ashbury and stuff. So that was kind of like something I always found really interesting and inspiring. And so then, of course, Venice Beach. I got to Venice Beach, and the first time I visited with friends, and I'm like, there's something really special. And I said, I need to go here for a while. And so then eventually I came here to live here for a year and never left.
Wow.
So
that's a great story.
I also got lucky. I found an apartment right in the oceanfront. The time I moved in here, Venice was much more ghetto than it is right. It's still a ghetto, but it's now gentrified ghetto. So, but you could still find somewhat affordable place there at Gator Beach. That's what I had. That's what it was. So I started out with $625 a month, right? Nice. Unbelievable in 2 days. So, so then I got a rent control apartment, and I built my studio in here. So it's not really big. It looks usually way bigger on camera, and it's full with instruments and everything, but it does have a magic. I made so many recordings here and so many albums, and I make music here for many, many years now. I'm not even getting the number in there. But so it became like this. And then it's also the studio I have. And then like a few years ago, financially, America was not doing very well. And it was hard for me to sustain myself. And I thought, like, I might actually lose the studio. I'm not really sure I can keep on going. And then I saw a show. It's called Live from Daryl's House. Daryl Hall from Hall & Oates. I'm not sure if you heard this.
Yeah.
That was like the first time I saw this guy has a barn and put all these great musicians in the studio, started jamming out, and had this internet show. It was on YouTube, right?
Oh.
He had like Stevie Wonder and everything, like top. So Daryl Hall made this show. It's called Live from Daryl's House. It's still out there. I love it. It's a wonderful show,
cool.
And he has incredible. He has a great house band. I mean, incredible musicians. And I thought, you know what? To my studio, so many people come through here, and so much magic happens. I think I could do something like this in my own style, limited
Totally.
style. I wasn't really sure when Stevie Wonder is going to show up, but so I'm like, but I know so many people. Let's do this.
Wait, was Stevie Wonder? Has Stevie Wonder visited?
Stevie Wonder played at Daryl's house, not on Radio Venice
okay.
yet.
Okay, but he's on his way. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on his way. He's
maybe
coming
this show will make that happen.
I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
That would be amazing. Okay, please continue. I'm at the edge
of
my
seat. So then
here.
I'm like, okay, that would be fun, because what can I do with a studio that makes interesting? And then so I started doing Radio Venice show #1, and then it was kind of fun. It was technologically very, with a laptop and the laptop cam and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I started out, it was pretty wild, but it was kind of fun and the people loved it. And then it had all of a sudden became its own dynamic. It had some people helping me with it a little bit, and then it became something really special. Then particularly before the pandemic, it was every Sunday was partying here. We had like a big band, 7-piece bands, whatever.
Who are some of the bands? I would love to hear some of the musicians you've had there.
We had all kinds of people here that were really interesting. I had one band here that was with a drummer from James Brown and P-Funk, Waddy Cash. He came in with a 7-piece ensemble with horns and everything. And then we had like another 30 people in the kitchen partying down. Like I said, it was before COVID. So, we would have been called a super spreader. So there was all kinds of stuff going on, but it was really wild. And then also another incredible musician I had here was Ellis Hall. He's he cannot see, and he got signed by Ray Charles when he was 18, and he's like a multi-instrumentalist singer. He was with Tower of Power and all kinds of people. Unbelievable, and so like I had people in here coming, tearing the roof off.
Speaking of Ray Charles, just a few months ago we had his daughter, his last child, Robin Charles, was on the show.
Oh wow!
And she's a singer-songwriter. Amazing.
I'm sure.
You'll have to watch that episode.
The genes are insane, probably. Yeah.
I mean, once you hear just immediately her voice, you're just like, who is this? It's Robin Charles. But I'll have to send you that link. Shout out to everybody tuned in. Again, you're watching episode 6 of season 5 of The Music Train with the amazing Michael Jost, composer, producer, guitarist, and founder of Radio Venice. I think it's only a live show in the studio. Like, you're not doing the streaming. It's literally live.
We did switch during the pandemic because we couldn't have all this anymore.
Yeah.
We did start, then all of a sudden, so I was co-hosting with someone I was working with in Australia back in the day. So we were co-hosting Australia and Venice Beach. Yeah. And then we learned how to do the technology to switch in. So we went to Europe, everything, even like the time differences were crazy.
Nice.
But we had like 2 different artists. So we went, whatever, let's say New York, we went to Europe and Australia on the same show and had 3 different artists, which was great. Yeah. Technologically, it's quite challenging also, like setting up the sound checks, because you have to have every musician. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. But then when the pandemic was over, for right now, we went back to be in the studio and doing it live. And actually, I did more than 400 shows so far.
What?
Right?
Okay, yeah, so where can we? Okay, I see everybody.
They're all on YouTube. Radio Venice on YouTube. There's
everybody subscribe. Subscribe to Radio Venice on YouTube.
We're almost at 1,000. We're like 18 subscribers off. So when you get 1,000, then a couple of new features open up.
Yes, let's go.
So all that. So, but yeah, now all these shows are, there's incredible, crazy stuff. There's some, like sometimes, the internet dies, and some of them are. There's a couple like in Ellis Hall. Ellis Hall is the best. Ninja Academy. There's incredible shows there. I don't even know which one.
I can't wait to check it out. And also Susie Williams. We have a friend in common. She's actually our guest next week on the Music Train. And so Susie Williams, if you guys have not yet heard of Susie Williams, just wait till you meet her next week on the Music Train for episode 7. Michael plays music with Susie, and I think you just had a gig with her.
I played Friday night, yeah.
Yeah, Friday night.
I did produce an album with her. It's called Bravo.
I love that album, by the way.
It was a lot of work. And I have to say, Susie Williams, I love Susie.
Me too.
She's a source of endless inspiration. Her energy, Also, I worked with so many vocalists from all over the world. Susie is unbelievable. Her control, her vibrato, her everything. She sings with every fiber of her body. You know,
She does.
she's insane. So, we're working with each other. We love playing with each other. I feel her. We did
Yeah.
record some of the basic tracks at Hen House Studios over there. So we were in different rooms. We couldn't see each other, and we're playing without a click the songs together. And the engineers are like, "How do you guys do this? You come in the same point. We just feel each other through the wall. I know when she's coming in by just hearing her breathing. Right? So that all these things happened. It is truly magic playing with Susie. I can't even say thank you enough to the people she introduced me to, and what I learned from playing with her. As much as I did, so did she open up new musicians. And then I had Susie come into the studio. For example, there's a couple of photos there. So she met, for example, Titus. Titus is a West African musician, incredible. He's about 3 times as tall as Susie.
Wow.
And so there's Susie with whatever she is, and Titus meet. And that's the beautiful thing about music, right? These different kind of people meet and they melt and become something completely new.
Yes.
And
the magic of music. It never stops giving. It never stops giving.
I got my studio couch over here. I'm not sure if I can see this. It's my studio couch over there, right?
I think I've been on that couch. I think I've sat on that couch.
You sat on that couch. On that couch, musicians from all over the world, from all kind of different cultural backgrounds, all skin colors, all religions, all everything, come and sit, make music and communicate.
Do we have a documentary coming up with Radio Venice? I feel like with all of this, like there's got to be like some editors who are interested in like getting some of the footage and like putting together something for, I don't know.
Eventually that will happen. It will happen. Yeah. It's just, since I'm very busy, as you probably know, keeping a show really up, you have to put some work in.
For sure.
Everything. I'm going to be revamping after the summer.
Sweet.
A little bit. I need a new webmaster. So right now we're just running on YouTube and Instagram. Our website is dormant. So I have to redo all these things.
Yes.
But there will be.
Okay. Because I don't know. I really want like the best of Radio Venice and kind of a walkthrough. Like if I was to film it, see, I'm putting myself on audition right now out of the blue for you, but I'd walk up the stairs with the camera and I would just start kind of walking in there and tracking and recording just you and an actual live video with you. But before we get into Dreamland, because that would be a dream of mine to come true, will you play us something live? I want to put you on solo here up on the screen like this.
Sure. And I got Miss Lucy here.
All right.
Miss Lucy is a truly special guitar. She's been traveling all over the world with me. By the way, I have another guitar duo. Guitarist Hermanos. I met a man, his name is Frank Slamka. He has a sister guitar to Miss Lucy. So she's made out of the same tree. So we'll be playing at today's radio show.
Did you say that they're made out of the same tree?
Yes.
Wow.
My friend Thomas Delgado from Candelas Guitar built this. This is an incredible guitar. So whenever he builds guitars, he gets one piece of wood and builds 2 tops out of it. So this was very special cedar wood. So he built Miss Lucy. And then he said, hey, there's another guy in Santa Monica. I built a guitar out of the same piece of wood. And eventually I got to meet him and we started to playing together. And these 2 guitars sound unbelievable together. So we not only became friends, but now we're in the process of making a record.
It's
called Guitarras Hermanas, sister guitars.
Yes, Michael.
So this is the next thing what happened. I love also playing with Frank. I love playing El Duello. So, but this is what's going to happen. So let's
give it up for Michael Yost.
Let me see what I'm going to play. Gotta warm up a little bit. Hello. Oh,
Hello.
there she is.
Were you not? I was speaking. Was I not audible?
I didn't hear you. No.
Michael, did you write that on stage right now? What is that piece called? It was so beautiful.
It's called the Berlin Waltz. I wrote it in Berlin,
Mhm.
and it's a waltz. It's hard with my accent. Some people think I say waltz. No, but it's a 3/4. It's a waltz. Yeah, but it's mine.
It's
it
so-
always changes a little bit.
I don't want you to put the guitar away, for God's sakes. If you feel like continuing, I mean, that was so beautiful. You gave me chills.
All right,
So-
that's what the Spanish guitar needs to do.
Yes, you gave me chills. Pardon my dogs barking in the background. They must have heard
All
you
right.
as well. They are applauding you. So let's talk about actually, if you wouldn't mind playing the guitar again, that would be amazing, because right now my dogs have busted into my studio.
I like dogs in the studio.
Okay.
I like dogs in the show. Yeah, so this is a truly special guitar. So, and that's what it's all about, like I feel with all technology and AI, and it's more becoming more to the real thing, you know.
I love that you mentioned AI. So just a little bit about something I'm doing coming up here. Recently, you know, I spent a lot of time on the X app, on the X Twitter app, and basically I met a gentleman who writes verse, but he's been in robotics for 25 years. He anyway, his name is Dr. Scott Walter, and he said, Vessi, would you put my lyrics to music? And it's called Tesla's Dream. And it's about my FSD, my full self-driving vehicle, being the large language model that it is, learning its surroundings. And he started to compare it. He started to go off a little bit with his amazing mind and to compare it to actually a human being learning at a young age, their surroundings, and sometimes getting it wrong. And so I put to music his song, Do Tesla's Dream, and it's going to now be for the Tesla Light Show, where they're integrating music live with the lights of the Teslas. They aim to have, I think, 1,150 on 19 acres on June 15th in Muskegon, Michigan. And they're using our song with 3 other songs. And the gentleman that's producing it, his name is Simon Pollock, and he does these Tesla light shows. Have you heard about them?
I have not, but that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, I wanted to play you the song real quick here, just so that, because AI, you could say that even though AI didn't technically come up with this, Scott Walter came up with the lyrics and I came up with the music, and it's going to be utilized through Tesla's automobiles now for a light show. Have
you wrote the music? That's the important part, right?
I'll just give you a little clip of it just so that you know.
Sure. I'd love to hear it.
Can you come to Muskegon, Michigan on the 15th of June?
Well,
you never know,
maybe.
Right? I think we need you there.
You never know.
Here, we'll
I'm
just give you
open for that.
a little taste.
Do Tesla's dream of things unseen. Digit 3 insist that Y exists when its stable rate is your storage crate in the garbage bin, and X again, or the eating dog, a cyber drug. There's a weary auto label, see autos in its stable, one more mirage in your one-car garage. Its invisible friend, is it just pretend? Hey, green the only, are our Teslas lonely? We need to find what's in their mind. Dr. Know-It-all, please make the call.
It's a long song.
Well, that is quite, how would you say, for like a machine, it's quite cute for a machine, right? Just like it's like singing to a young child.
So what's interesting is that we don't know what this producer is going to do with this, because I had him on. His name's Simon Pollock. I had him on the show on Music Train a few weeks ago, and basically some of the music that he produces and remixes together is not really recognizable after the fact, which he told me you may not. So I'm just wondering what it's going to become. So are you afraid?
That's before the fact.
Yes, that's before the fact. So what do you think about AI and AI music? Have you heard of Suno.ai?
Of course, it's in everyone's mind right now, a lot of discussion. So, and I read something from an artist, like, I don't want AI to do my art, my music for me. I want AI to do my laundry and do that kind of stuff. So I have more time to do the art and music, right? And so I'm sure there's a lot of great applications for it, right?
Well, speaking of which,
in terms of art and music, I'm sure there's very interesting things too. But it's, of course, what it does to me personally, I'm not totally afraid or what anything. I'm sure there's great danger to it, but I'm not totally afraid of it. But what it does to me, I'm not really inspired to use it for my art, for my music. Actually, since everything gets so, I was a sound engineer. There's like, AI takes over a lot. These days, the job as mastering engineer, these days you can send it in online for like $10 and AI is mastering things. Not necessarily that's super good, but that's what's happening. So for me, it takes me more back to go less electronic, more just a pure acoustic guitar.
Yes,
to go the other direction,
which
really cause emotions,
but
right?
well, that guitar, so being an organic musician, that's going to become more in high demand. If you think
Sure.
about how much AI is going to be dependent upon, like there's an app called Suno.ai, SUNO.ai, where if you went in there right now and you said, I want a song that makes just whatever you put verbally, let's say you're a poet and you know how to use words really well, and you're able to prompt and to keep prompting, prompt engineer it, like, no, add this to it, add this to it. I want it to, it's pretty remarkable what it comes up with. I was just at an event this weekend called Full Moon Fusion with David Prorock, and he has started using Suno.ai, and in 3 weeks he's made 1,000 tracks by prompting it. Now he's a musician, he's a rapper, he's really good actually, and he created an app through ChatGPT called like a superstar app where you can put in like you can just put in like, I want you to be this kind of superstar, and it creates content based on that. So it's very interesting. I'm a musician, so I don't know.
The thing is, I'm a musician, I'm a sound engineer. There is definitely danger of taking, particularly in the aspect of sound engineering, that there will be taken work away from us, living this. I can see this.
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, I think it's very interesting, and there's beautiful things that can be done. It makes me want to move in a different direction.
Yeah, I hear you.
I will use AI to make other tasks in my life easier. And I also don't have a problem with, for example, using AI if I need a bio for myself. The one that you have is written a long time before that happened. But if I would use a new bio and need some help and maybe like phrasing anything, well, we're using AI in many, applications. Autocorrect on your phone is AI, right? For example.
Yes. Well, let's just talk about Radio Venice. So you have 400. How many episodes did you say you have? Something like
today we do 409.
Okay, so let's say there was an AI that you created that would be able to go through it and sonically pull out like every nugget of gold in it, which if you had something to compare it to what that would be, you would put that language into the reader so that it would know the high capacity of vibe. Like is that, can we actually find that in a way that quickly? Probably. Well, yeah.
That kind of makes sense. I would be interested in that because we got so much material.
I know.
I have no time to go.
Yeah. Exactly.
There's a lot of, some crazy shit there, but there's a lot of.
Have you heard? What was one of the ones? There's one AI out there. I forgot. It's called Musamap or something. It basically reads. Now, I'm not an AI guru or anything like that. I just hang around with people that know a lot about all these different, like Robert Scoble was on the show. He's got like a list of like 4,000, 5,000 different AI companies that have popped up within the last like year and a half, music, all different genres. But my point was this Musamap basically reads the emotionality. It puts into graphical connotation how depressive a song is. It puts like, it's just interesting to like the organization, valuation of such things. I think it's pretty interesting.
I do like depressive songs.
Yeah, me too.
I find depressing music more beautiful. When it's like too happy, too much major.
Yeah,
that makes me actually depressed.
Yeah, it doesn't, because it doesn't. It like leaves out the whole other half of like, you can't really be that happy if you've never felt that much sadness, right?
Yeah. Like and I feel like darkness in music and sadness. I find it extremely beautiful. I'm a rather positive person these days, and I like to be happy and all that kind of stuff. I don't need to be like depressed to be creative, but I do love dark music.
So what would you, since we're on this topic, and then I would love for you to play more if you would, Michael, but what would you give the advice to like aspiring musicians in this day where like they could jump on an AI and maybe someone told them they don't have the chops, or they'll never, maybe they've been like pressed down on like, culturally or societally, like they don't feel that they can, but they're able to prompt something and something comes from their words. What could you tell them that will make them want to pick up a guitar, play the piano?
Well, like if someone tells you don't have the chops,
yeah,
show them, right?
Yeah.
That's happened to me too, right? like while I was still living in Germany, I'm like, fuck you, I'm going to show you, right? That's what it does to me. When everyone sometimes telling me something I can't do it, I do want to do it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like whenever like there's a bummer, a band falls apart or whatever. So I always use this kind of disappointment to really stand up and say, okay, now I'm really going to go for it. I'm going to show you. You know, that's the kind of thing that thrives. But everyone's a little different. What I would say, you know, if you go these days, you want to learn the guitar, you go on YouTube. Within 3 minutes, you find a 12-year-old in India with incredible jobs. Right? I mean, there's some stuff out there that's insane. So to become the best at something is probably not possible in these days anymore. Even I'm like all about this, but I feel like the more grown up I become as a musician, I feel like you have to find yourself. You know, you have to live a life and become a person, and that the music has got to become the extension of that. You know, find your own voice. That is the most important thing. It's not possible to learn everything. Learn as much as you can, but the most important part is find your own words and live a life that you have a story to tell.
That's it right there. That's such great advice. You know, I talk to so many people about music. I have all my life. I'm the one that talks to strangers, by the way. Like I like, even though like I'm a mom and I say don't talk to strangers. I mean, if you don't talk to people, you won't really know how to live your life. Ultimately, everybody that we cross, every path we cross, Michael, you're with me on this, right? Every path we cross, we kind of have been here before spiritually. Let's talk about spiritually right now. Are you a spiritual man? I would say yes. You're a very spiritual man.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual.
I can feel that. I knew that right away. And I think
but you know, for me, my kind of spirituality or all that is also expressed through music, right? That's the thing, and this is where getting spiritual. Also, the connections between different people.
I'm hearing sounds of Venice on the boardwalk. Can we get a look? Is there any way we could see the boardwalk for the people? Let's see, guys.
Just a little bit down there. It's to my dirty windows. You know, it is Memorial Day weekend. It could get crazy out there.
It sounds. I wish that I could be there right now. At least I have you here. At least I have
sounds out there. There was this guy earlier coming. You know, now since these days, all these guys have these USB speakers on a little trolley.
Yeah.
And they come playing out, blasting shit, and then particularly when I have to record here or do a Radio Venice show, sometimes it gets complicated.
Yeah, it's not like you can drop down like a little like. You could drop down $10. I need you quiet for like an hour.
No, not with $10 these days.
No, right? I know that was a joke.
But the prices in LA, what you want to do with $10? You need to throw 100 probably.
Hey, I used to live on the roof of my friend's house on Rialto. I know about the gentrification of Venice, but you're still there, which is like, let's go. I mean, Radio Venice has their spot, and I don't think.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna go anywhere. You know. The thing is really finding, I do love touring. I do love playing other places in the world.
Yeah.
You know, I'm fortunate enough also like through playing with Susie and everything, we found our audience here.
Yeah.
So when we do play, people come. But I also love to go to places where I haven't played before. And, you know, people that don't know you at all.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's like a blank canvas.
It's so amazing. So
when I play for all these people that have seen me 100 times, you always like, okay, I'm trying to keep it interesting, try to do something different.
Right.
Which is also very important.
So you'd like to go on tour. You would like to have a tour soon and who would you take on tour with you?
Well, that's always like a question. So I'm most of the times I'm doing it by myself. Right?
Yeah. So you are up for doing a solo tour because one could happen.
I'm going to go to Europe in August, and I did a track with West African choir master Prince Giabati, an incredible musician, right? And I got to meet him at a house concert from Susie, like quite some years ago, right? He was playing at Brad Kay's house, a house concert, and I got to meet him. And I'm like, and that house is also super special. We had a house concert at like a May 9th with Guitarist Hermanas. It was really nice. So I did get to meet Prince Giabati. So Prince Giabati was awesome, and I invited him to Radio. songs.
Uh-huh.
So what happened is eventually I got him to play in Radio Venice, which was one of these shows. These songs, this music, the sound of the kora, how he plays it, was just like, it's like from another world.
It's
Unbelievable.
changing. It's changing everything in
It's
the
changing
space
everything.
of time.
So
Yeah.
eventually I got to invite him to book a show. You know, it's just like you got to build up a trust.
Yes,
You know?
totally.
So then I started 2 years ago. We had the first show together, which was amazing for me. I was very nervous, you know, because all these rhythms, sonically, it's rather not that complicated because they're tuned in a pentatonic scale.
Mhm.
So it's not about like crazy jazz chords, but the rhythm.
Can
It's
you show
incredible.
us? Can you show us? Maybe give us a taste of it, of
That-
what you.
There's also, we did a, you know, I have the video. We did a song, El Duelo, my guitar duo and me. We did a song with him. It's called The Traveler. There's also a
Oh.
video of it on YouTube.
Mhm. I will
I'll
check it
send you
out.
the link. So
Okay.
so I got to play with him. It was beautiful. And then we did do another show. And then I got to record a song with him. We wrote a song for him because we were inspired by him, Rick Boston and me. It's called The Traveler. I'm really proud of it. I worked on it like last year.
I can't wait to hear it.
It came out December 1st. So that's really two Spanish guitars with a
Mhm.
kora.
Mhm.
And so he's living in France now, in
Mhm.
Marseille. So I will get to meet him. And we're going to play a few shows together. So
In
that's all we
August.
do.
In August.
In August, yes.
Ah,
So I'm not sure. Did you ever meet Taylor Barnes when you were here in
I
She
don't
just-
recall.
just about a month ago, she was on the main side of CNN. They actually make an article about her. She moved from Venice to France, bought an estate,
Wow.
and hosts all these musicians and plays great shows. Sunny War, another really successful artist from Venice Beach, was there.
That's
just
how we
last week.
met. It was
Yeah.
Sunny. That's right.
Yeah. Sunny, also an incredible musician. I was happy to have on Radio Venice
Yeah.
quite a few times, you know. And we traveled to Field Trip and Fest to New Mexico, Taos, all that kind of stuff. That's it.
I want to be in your backpack. If I could, I would like miniaturize myself and I would live in your backpack. If we could do an animation where the music train can kind of just be there like a little speaker in your
Sure,
backpack as you go. You never know.
Check out, how about Music Train is organizing a nice little concert of the Music Train in Chicago, and we're all going to come to Chicago.
Yes.
I would love to come. I traveled with Susie last year to Mexico City, and we played a couple shows, which was absolute amazing. Not only traveling with Susie, but I loved Mexico City.
Oh my God.
Wonderful city. And then playing with Susie there was awesome. So I would also like to take my guitar duos. I would like to take Susie Williams. My dream is, financially, it's not yet possible. But my dream is,
it is. It's possible. We're not using those words. Everybody, are you listening?
To have like a moving circus, you know,
Yes.
put all these guitar players, Prince Giabatti, all these kind of things, you know, put it together. People from all over and travel. You know, there's this movie about the 60s where Janis Joplin, Grateful Dead, Bob Dylan, they all traveled on one train and did all these shows. Something like that. That's what I would like to do.
So speaking of which, my partner BK Han, he also sends his regards. He couldn't be here today to actually speak with you, but he's in Singapore, and I believe there's a train that goes either in Malaysia or in Singapore where we've been talking about having live art with Tegu Ostenrick, who is a sustainable artist who creates sculptures above the Jakarta Sea and then drops them to the bottom, and they replicate coral. Honestly.
Oh, wow.
And so Tegu, they have this idea that Tegu is going to paint on the train, on a moving train. But yes, a train tour. It's going to happen.
Also bus tour. But what I was thinking is like, you know, and I think something what I did like about Lollapalooza is here also in Chicago and stuff.
Yeah.
So what Per Farrell did there, just the multicultural aspect of this. You know, he has metal bands, he has funk, he has rap, he has everything psychedelic, and that's what I like. I would like to put something together, and to make it easy in the beginning, you could put more acoustic bass. You know, I'm not sure. Did you hear about the Music Box, Billy Stogo? we had here
Oh,
in Venice.
can you
Billy
tell me
Stobo.
about that? What the music
So
box was
during
like
the
a stage, right? A stage that's
so
like
Billy
on.
Stobo is a very good friend of mine, incredible musician and multi-talented. I mean, he's the drummer of Golden Buddha and
Uh-huh.
all these things. So he's also a carpenter. So, and he had this huge box made of wood where he had all his tools, and he was standing up because he was kind of like putting it away. And he's like, I can stand up in there and I could play music in there. It's kind of cool. So what he started, he put some wheels on it, a little bit lights in it, and then put a little PA on it, battery driven. And then the pandemic kicked in. No
Yeah.
one could play officially in a club and everything. So he kept rolling up the music box here in
Wow.
Venice, and we started playing out there. It became huge. You know, we rolled the music box out on the beach and everything. So and for some reason, no one got COVID. You know, it was all maybe the salt
Outside.
air or something. You know, it
Yeah.
became really the subculture in Venice. It was, and now the music box, we just played last Sunday with the music box at the Topanga Banjo and Fiddle Festival. You know, they book him now as side stages. We with the music
Amazing.
box, the Microfest in Joshua Tree. So that is something we've been talking about too. Going to Europe, build another music box, travel around with us, invite local musicians and all that
Amazing.
travel with us, and we all play with each other. You know, back
I
each
love
other's
it.
projects up.
I
That's
love
the
your
idea.
energy. Michael, you have great energy. You're
Oh,
so
it's great
right
to hear.
on.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm so happy that you were my guest today. I actually don't want to say goodbye to you. We're
You
almost
should
done.
talk to Billy Stobo one of these
Okay.
days as one of your guests with the
Why
music
don't we
box.
do that? Let's do it.
Yeah, you should do it. He's a very interesting man and created something really wonderful.
Would you want to be a co-host, a guest co-host?
I'd love to.
Okay, great. Let's go. So I didn't tell you what the music train, how that came to be. And before we close up the show today, I hope
Yeah,
you
tell
play
me about
another
it.
song. So quickly, the music train started a few years ago. And it started on an app called Connect Club, where people would basically get into a space like a metaverse, a 3D space. And they were able to go on video, and they could create these skins, they call it, of this vibe, let's say like a late night talk show or a concert club, and you'd be hanging out in there with just a few people. And BK, my partner in the music train, he said, Vessi, why don't we get one word from each of the guests and write a song on the spot? And I was like, okay. So we started to do this, and he would turn them into NFTs because I'm big into NFTs. And I would write it live. I'd record it on my Pro Tools live as we were in the space with a few words from our guests. And we started to call it Music Train, and he would turn them into NFTs. So then Music Train was born. This was not a visual. This was just only audio. Season 2 started to be on YouTube, LinkedIn, X, which was Twitter back then, Facebook. And then now we're in season 5. Season 4, we turned into AI-tainment was the new name of the show. And that was all about AI. So now we're in season 5. This is episode 6. We've been here with Michael Jost, founder of Radio Venice, amazing human being, amazing composer, producer, and guitar player. And we have to write a song now, you see?
All right.
We have to write a song. So I need a word or something from you. A word, something you want it to be. Wait, you know, tomorrow is Memorial Day. So we could make it remembering all of those who have died in war, and actually how sad that is, because I would like to see an end to war.
How about okay, I do see that. So how about we go in the other direction? We go to peace.
Okay.
Right? I'm not sure. What key would you like?
So I'm gonna just start. Here we go. I'd like to go to peace. Can you show me the key? Is there a way for you and me to go to peace? Peace comes to all when they do fall, like lights of trail of shall remain.
So let me say something about beautiful on the spot about the piece. You know, there's one thing I have to say where AR still sucks. Get your shit together so we can jam live on the internet.
I know, right?
It's not fast enough.
It's not.
We tried so many times. Also, you know what's so awesome? You have one in Australia, you have one in Europe, you have one in Venice.
Yeah, what's up
If
with
it really
that?
would be fast enough, they can do anything. They can bomb places all over the world. What's up with that? Get it together.
Yeah, okay. And that is the takeaway. AI, if you want to really be on the train, if you really want to be on Radio Venice, if you really want to be with it, make it possible for people to play with each other in real time without a lag all over the world. It's not too much.
Yes, right.
So play
That's
us
the thing.
out, Michael.
That's the thing is when there's any development in technology, I'm really waiting for, because that, you know, makes it really interesting. I thought during the pandemic, when we switched to all the different locations with Radio Venice, it was fantastic to all of a sudden meet all these people that you haven't been met before, like exchange ideas like you and me do right now. I mean, this is a beautiful thing about the internet. Not everything is bad. The communication, the possibility. Also, you know, on YouTube, there's so much inspiration if you look for the right places. Right?
Totally.
It's beautiful, but get faster, motherfuckers. That's not really good. I'm sorry about the French.
No, and real quick, I just wanted to give a shout out also to the Vibes Web3 Music Festival. A big shout out to Maritza from Croatia last week, who was with us. Michael, I don't know if you are interested in submitting a song, but you could win $500 if you get first place.
Sure.
Let me just give this promo to all the musicians out there. Check it out, Vibes Web3 Music Festival. DM me at Vessi Mink for more information. Powered by Hive, and one more Tesla takeover in Muskegon, Michigan this June 15th. I'm going to be there. I'm actually performing, and they're going to use a song that Dr. Scott Walter and I wrote called Do Tesla's Dream. Let me just give you the promo for that. Please come to the Tesla takeover so you can watch 1,100 Teslas sing our songs.
Tesla's dream.
All right, Michael, the stage is yours. We're closing it out with you. Thank you so much for being our guest. And do you have an ask for our viewers? What do you want them to do?
Subscribe to Radio Venice on YouTube. That would be beautiful.
Do it, guys.
All you get is you will get an invite to some crazy shows like once in a while. And
love it, Michael. Love you, Michael. I love you, Michael.
Love you too, Bessie. Thank you so much for all this opportunity. We'll talk soon, okay?
Sounds wonderful. Oh, wait, are you going to play for us?
Oh, you have to play more?
You don't have to.
All right.
On the spot.
Let me see what we play, okay? Just like... Ciao, Messi.